Hey, what's up everybody, BDO44 coming at you in another video. Alright, so I just read something that said the Russell Westbrook's play this year makes it increasingly unlikely that he's going to be traded. Now in my mind, at face value, you'll be like, yeah, of course, he's playing great. It is unlikely the Lakers would be likely to trade him. But what I'm saying to you is, anytime I hear stuff like that, all that tells me is the price is up. So if you want to get him, you should think it's impossible to. That's exactly what that is. That's what everyone is supposed to think now. It's like Russell Westbrook is someone you should covet because we now covet him. And so whatever price tag you think was on him before, in his case, since it's a salary dump, lower it. So if it took 2 picks for us to get rid of Russell Westbrook, we're saying it should take no picks for us to get rid of Russell Westbrook. Now the funny thing just occurred, or a funny thing just occurred. Last night I made a video talking about a particular contract in Miami, a Duncan Robinson contract. And my thing is, I want nothing to do with it whatsoever. If I'm the Lakers or any of the other teams in the league. And because of that, in order for the Miami Heat to get rid of it, they're going to have to attach all possible things, including their arms and legs, to get rid of it. And I might be willing to take that. That package, that's a covetable package, especially since I got Russell Westbrook and I'm trying to get rid of him. Especially since I got no shooting and he's one of the best shooters in the world. Now that is a contract I don't want. That contract is bad. He is a terrible defender, so he's not going to be no more than a role player. But if they give me the equivalent of everything that could turn into what it is he's actually worth, and I trade it for what he's actually worth, then he doesn't actually have his contract. The players that would be worth what he's worth have his contract, so long as I position it properly and make it make sense. Do you understand what I'm saying? Hear me out. The players that everybody wants in this league are players that are usually on rookie contracts. How do you get those players off of those teams? By making a trade like this and getting the equity. That is that equity. This is how you get those players. You trade what Miami's giving you in picks and find those guys. You get them all. Any of the ones you want. And if you're resetting your situation, you're trading Anthony Davis to triple down on those damn picks. And if you're resetting your situation, you're trading LeBron James and you're quadrupling those picks in the summertime. You are resetting your situation, and Duncan Robinson is the only actual key coin on the books. The rest is picks like Utah and OKC and Houston, and we got the best stuff, including somewhere in there a pick for 2023, for which the Miami Heat have, which is going to get us in this draft this year. Now, I don't think it's going to be Wembanyama, even though the Miami Heat are acting like they're tanking. They won't be if they take whatever it is we're trading. But what I'm telling you is, if I can position this trade the right way, I don't even have to trade Anthony Davis to reset my situation and get all the stuff I need to keep us in contention. If I do it the right way and position Duncan Robinson properly, sans getting rid of Russell Westbrook and Kendrick Nunn, and then finding them little bitty pieces that I can find to make that core better. Do you see what I just did? I gave us a terrible contract on top of 2 other contracts, but I also gave us enough equity and flexibility to get us out of it. In one flurry. Now, I think that's what the Lakers are actually trying to do with Evan Fournier. I think that's what they're trying to do with Evan Fournier, you guys. As I considered them saying they wanted Evan Fournier, it dawned on me. Damn it, that's what they're thinking. They're trying to do that with the Knicks. The Knicks have 7 picks. Now, if they can do that with Evan Fournier, I'm with it. I'm with it. Because I saw the fruit in doing it with Duncan Robinson. I just didn't see it with Evan Fournier till I did some thinking. Yo, that is perfect. Rob, that might be the thing. That might be the thing, yo. If you can get these dummies over there in New York to get us like 3 picks for Evan Fournier's contract, or he's a little better than Duncan Robinson, so maybe 2 picks and maybe like Quickly and Toppin or one of those 2 jumpers, somebody over there. Get us some kids, dude. Some of those rookie contracts. Maybe even bring back something. I don't know. You can't bring back Juju. That's too much salary. But you bring back Evan Fournier, and then you bring back all all that the Knicks can give you. I mean, you fleeced the Knicks, man. They were gonna pay 6 picks for who was it? What's it? Donovan Mitchell. Come on now, it's the Knicks. Fleece them. But if you're thinking that way and you can pull it off, it's a win. I think it's a win. I think because that's the way you get the flexibility. That's how you get those young players that are just not gonna be on our team at all. Like, we're not gonna find those dudes, man. We're never gonna get the Jalen Smiths. We're never gonna get the, Evan Mobley's unless we find a way to get extremely creative, man. Like, stupid creative. And it's how you do it. Now, the whole trading AD and trading Bron thing, that's just me trying to create a full rebuild because that's what I truly believe in. But I also believe in keeping Anthony Davis and building forward with him. Let's say I were another team, I'd be ready to trade for Anthony Davis. You feel me? So it's like, it's just about who you are, I guess. And we are the Lakers. And right now, we need flexibility and we need to move on from our current situation. After that Boston game, I'm like, I just don't believe that we can reach our best selves unless some people just start being somebody they've never been before, man. I really admit that point. I'm there. And I think a lot of people are after watching what we've just seen. Darvin Ham is going to have a new timeline so that he can have a timeline that makes sense with the learning curve that he has ahead of him. And this is ridiculous. This is not working. And I'm sure tomorrow we're going to see him go out there. They're going to try to make some adjustments. I'm sure that'll make some sense against the Nuggets. But the Nuggets just dropped 144 points on whoever they played last night. I don't remember who it was, but I remember the score. So, like, we need to really consider getting very creative here. And one of the things Rob Pelinka has not been accused of is being extremely creative. So that's if we've been waiting this long, that's the kind of thing that the Lakers would be very, very happy to see, is us get a lot of pick equity, because we don't have a future and we need to understand that this team is running around doing whatever they got to do, but we don't necessarily have a path to talent after this season. So we need to do that. We need to make sure we get that. And if we take on a shooter, which happens to just fit the need for this year's roster, that's cool. But everything we need to be doing has to be for the future. It has to be. We can't be short-sighted anymore. Everything we've done that led up to this has been short-sighted, and it's gotten us one championship. And 3 out of 4 years or 4 out of 5 years where these guys have been hurt. And so that's the main thing. We need to get more stability on this roster. So that's what I wanted to present to you guys, man. I liked that whole idea, and it was funny to me because I had seen someone in some type of article where they had used Duncan Robinson and attached Nikola Jovic, several picks, and I'm sitting there like, yo, that is the only way that the Heat are going to be able to get rid of that thing. And the fact of the matter is, Nikola Jovic is a player that they don't have in rotation, who's like basically a 7-foot center who shoots the 3-ball very pure. I mean, if you can't see the fruit in bringing a player like that in this era, there's something wrong with you. So for me, last night, when I made that video, I realized, that's a player to target that doesn't have value properly right now, that you can see ascending inevitably, like simply because of his skill set. He's going to ascend. You can turn him into something for certain. So it's like, we got to get creative and try to find ways of getting those type of players before they balloon. And like, the confidence that I have, because I keep seeing these players I keep choosing turn into something. It's like Nikola Jovic is the one I'm focused on right now, and I'm like, it's actually two. Him and Nembhard are the players I think are going to balloon. They're going to be something. And so it's like they're not being used properly. You got to target them. If the Lakers were to bring me both of those players, I would be tremendously ecstatic because I think they're going to turn into something for real. Obviously, if you're the Pacers, you don't give up on those players, on Nembhard, but since we've been talking to these teams, or since there's some rumors that these teams want, Westbrook wants to go to Miami, I would love for us to squeeze a way to get Jovic up out of there. If they're not going to keep him, let him land here. Because I see something in him, in his skill set, and his height, and his shooting ability. He should not be taken lightly, in my opinion. So that's one thing I'm thinking in my mind as well. So I don't expect anything will be done today, even though it's been a lot of rumors about the Lakers possibly wanting to do something. And Obviously, today's the 15th, so this is the day we've been waiting for. But I'm more so looking at the Lakers possibly just starting the process of being serious about calls, and it usually takes almost 2 to 3 weeks for deals to get done when we're thinking like that. So that's what history has shown me. Don't expect nothing right now, but do expect that they're starting the process of something that you'll see happen later on. But then again, a lot of this stuff should have already been talked about for a long time. So yeah, for what it's worth. But that's pretty much what I'm thinking, man. I know we're gonna play the Nuggets tomorrow. Like I said, they dropped 144 points. It might have been 143 to be honest, but it was up there. And if we're not gonna be able to score up to that level, we shouldn't even go on the floor with them. We might as well just sit our starters and run the kids out there. This is one of those games because I'm telling you, the way they're playing right now, Jokic is out of his mind right now. Gordon is also playing at a high level. They got Murray back. It's KCP's out there unless he's hurt. I haven't really paid attention to their roster to that degree, but I will do some homework and of course get back to you on them tomorrow. And that's the point. We need to be focused on being able to match up with teams like the Nuggets. If you can't match up with that team, if you can't match up with Memphis, if you can't match up with New Orleans, you're not even getting out of the West. So don't even think about Boston. You'll never see Tatum again. Like only once when you go back to his house, I should say. But like, yes, it's not going to be a situation where you got to worry about that. We got to try to match up with the guys in front of us. So that's what I'm hopeful Rob will help our team do. Put us in a position to at least be somewhat competitive. Can we be somewhat competitive? I don't think that's too much to ask, man. I think we put up a fantastic run, but the reality is if the team doesn't know how to close, we were never competitive. We were just really, really entertaining. And there's a difference. There's a big difference. I've watched Globetrotter games in my life. The other teams are really entertaining, just like the Globetrotters were. The other team definitely lost because the Globetrotters were always going to win. And so it seems like we're the other team, and we need to start being the Globetrotters again because we're the Los Angeles Lakers. You know what I mean? 17 championships. We're the legends, and we're not playing like it. We're the ones with Hall of Famers on the floor, but we don't know how to close basketball games. And so I think, and I've been thinking about this as well. I mentioned Derek Fisher last night. I think it would make a lot of sense for the Lakers to try to find a floor general. And I know we got Russell Westbrook. I know we got LeBron James. I know we got Austin Reeves. But these guys don't know how to control the clock, man. We need somebody who knows situational basketball on the floor, who can walk the ball up and just have an inherent understanding of how to win games. Because it's as embarrassing as it is to say, LeBron James, arguably the greatest player of all time, that is not one of his strengths. I've watched him do this enough times to know he really doesn't know how to actually secure victories from game to game to game as it pertains to these last 5 minutes, 4 minutes. He be doing stuff that gives the team the advantage. And I know he wants to win. He'd be very frustrated at the end of these games. So it's like somebody needs to teach him some things that he hasn't learned. He needs to be open to learn them for real, for real. Because I'm telling you, a guy like Derek Fisher is an expert at what it is that I'm referring to. He just knew how to manage the clock. If it was 30 seconds to go and we were up by 4, we won. We didn't lose. You know what I'm saying? And it was because of how he managed possessions. And so if you ain't studying that, which is an art form in and of itself, then you're missing something. I don't care how great you are. There's still things to learn. And that's what Kobe taught me. Is in regards to your basketball IQ, it's like there's always more to learn, man. Because at the end of the day, LeBron James grew up watching basketball, but maybe his point guard that he was watching wasn't great at that. Maybe he wasn't watching Derek Fisher. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like for us Laker fans, we used to closing games. We know how to close games. It was like, it never dawned on us we had an expert at that. Kobe and he both were geniuses at that. So now I'm like, so not everybody really knows how to do that. It's like not everybody knows that you got to do certain things down the stretch of a game in order to effectively seal it. You watch Russell Westbrook, he hoists a like, nah, that's how you lose, bro. That is exactly how to lose. If I wanted to teach somebody how to throw a basketball game, I'd tell them to shoot that mid-range shot that Russell Westbrook shot in overtime with the score looking like that and the time looking like that. It's like, nah, bro, nah. There's a science to what it is you're doing. And you're doing the wrong thing. Learn that. Learn that. When people say learn how to win, that is what they're talking about. And I think people be getting that wrong. I genuinely think that for a long time, I think people think that's an insult. That boy don't know how to win. That boy don't know how to win. They were referring to clock management, situational basketball, matchup understandings, and things like that go beyond being able to shoot, that go beyond being able to have floor vision, that go beyond being able to have an imagination about the sport in a lot of different ways. It's just a sport in and of itself, just like timeout management. Right? Just like timeout management. These things need to be studied, friends. If the Lakers are going to become a winning team, they got to get that right. And luckily enough, you're in LA, so we got those resources. We have those people who are great at those things. We got to focus in on that. Or bring some people, get you a player who can do that. You know what I mean? Get somebody who understands those things inherently, even if he's a role player. Somebody who can get in here and teach these guys that. They're going out there, they're fighting hard, but they're doing stuff that hurts their a chance to win, the ability to close games in an embarrassing fashion. It's like, oh, no. We got to get somebody in here who knows that stuff, man. Even if you got to hire a coach that knows that. Bring Derek himself here. Do it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. I don't care what the weakness is. We got to attack it. Straight up. If you the Lakers and you want to win a championship, you got to disarm yourself from anything. And I mean anything that would keep you from being able to succeed. If that means looking in the mirror and saying, I have no idea how to win and I'm the best player in the world, like, let's do it, because that's going to get us a victory, I promise you. We're going to get a ring because of it. Look at the guy left to you and say, you don't either? Cool, we can learn together. That's how we're going to get it. There's nothing we cannot do. That's what I've learned as Los Angeles Lakers. I watch Kobe do the impossible. I watch Magic do the impossible. I watch all these guys, even guys like guy that played in our uniform, went through some very difficult times. It's been plenty, you know what I mean? But they found a way to overcome it, and so that's what I'm preaching here. And come to the Lakers, it's a little different, man. I don't know what it's like in other places. I don't know, you know, maybe this is just me as a fan, but I always want people to derive from the old Lakers. I don't care what your deficiency is. There is a Laker that you can study, or a Laker that you can talk to, that is played in the uniform, that was good at what you didn't do well. That's what I know. And that goes for any future superstar who's ever played here. Do your homework on this franchise. You got all the greats. Whatever your position is, we have somebody that did it. We have somebody that know how to do it. And that's one of the reasons why I think LeBron came here, because he knows he's a part of something special. And so that's what I want people to do in this organization. Let's find out how to be dominant again. Let's find out how to be intellectually competitive again. Because all of the great Lakers, they weren't just entertainers. They were winners. They were strategists. They were clock masters. Let's get that right, man. BDF 44. Thank you all for watching. I'm out.